Hey guys, it's Diesel Queen here. I just wanted to hop on YouTube and my breath's done. So I wanted to hop on here and speak to maybe some young people in the industry or maybe some women that are scared to go into the diesel industry. I have a story. And this is especially for the women that think that are like they're scared of the industry because you're worried that the diesel industry is going to eat you up and spit you out and they're not going to give a shit about your personal life. They're not going to give a shit about anything. They're going to hate you. They're going to be hard on you. Here's a story for you. So the last construction shop I worked at in Wyoming, amazing company. They're actually they're also the same company that initially hired me for the first 3 years that I worked on heavy equipment. They were amazing. The manager of that shop was amazing. The owner's amazing. I love that company so much. But I moved back to Wyoming after spending 3 years in Colorado. And after about 2 years of working in Wyoming, they built a shop in Cheyenne. I'm like, yes, I want to come work for you guys. It was such a positive experience last time. This experience was nothing short of also positive. I had great managers. I had great bosses. Both the bosses I worked under at that time were great. We did butt heads a couple of times, a little bit on some things, but for the most part, my freaking first boss was my lead tech that I worked underneath in the beginning. Like, it's amazing. It was amazing. It was an awesome experience. I even got to they entrusted me with running the shop for a few months while they were trying to find a fill-in for another boss, while they were trying to find another boss, service manager. Awesome experience. The regional manager of that company, super awesome guy, really old school, older guy. I think he's retired now, but always looked up to him. He really understood the balance of this is a company and we're trying to make money and you need to be here and you need to fucking do your best, but I understand life and personal things that happen in life. Now, I left that job for the most part on good standing, like I did every job, but I always had this heaviness in my heart about, like, I went through major life changes the last 4 months that I've worked at that shop. And this was like one of my biggest life changes, biggest life events that have ever happened in my life. I went through a big breakup with someone that I was with for 8.5 years. I was really trying to figure out my life, figure out who I was, figure out everything. And I was kind of lost as a person. And my work started to reflect it. I wasn't always the person that worked 10 hours a day. You know, I needed time off. I needed the weekends. I needed, things like that. And it was really like, I always had a heavy heart about that because I always felt like I failed them. The last 3 or 4 months that I worked there, I always felt like I failed them. Even though they were incredible, I always felt like I failed specifically the service manager because I wasn't showing up the way I should. And I wasn't putting into that job the way I should. And, I actually thought I was going to get fired for a minute. I'm being vulnerable here, guys. This is like really me just taking responsibility for the fact that, like, I was young and I just really did not understand how to handle major life shit and handle a job and be able to maintain that and be able to maintain. So I made a post on my Facebook and I'm like, because I'm going through a lot right now in my mind, and, I'm always hard on myself, and that's something that's always been a moment of disapproval to myself, is how I handled the last 3-4 months that I worked at that job. And I always felt bad. I always felt really hard on myself for that specific thing. And that wasn't the main point of what I posted, but what I posted was basically saying, you grow in life and you learn in life and you do make mistakes. And the important thing is growing from that and learning from that and, doing that. Well, the most amazing thing happened to me is the regional manager, service manager, is friends with me on Facebook. And he commented on that and he said, you are an incredible person. You did incredible things for the heavy equipment industry. And there is so much you should be proud of and proud of yourself for. And that just that hit me like a brick wall. Okay. That hit me like a ton of bricks. Because this is a person that I really, really thought I let down. I really thought I let this person down. And I really, really thought I fell short. And even if I did fall short in his eyes in that moment, he was still able to look back at my career as a whole and what I had done for the company, been like, you did an amazing job. You were a good employee. You did a lot of positive things for this industry, and stick with that. And ladies, if you think that you are going to work in this industry and everyone's going to hate you because you're a woman and hate you for this or that, and they're not going to see your value and they're not going to see anything you do, and you're going to have to work 30,000 times harder than the men and all this shit that all these creators tell you, it's not true. A good manager is a good manager, and they will treat the men and women the same. And this is a perfect example of, like, I really thought I failed this person, and then they come at me and they come at in my comments and be like, you did incredible things for this industry. There are a lot of things that you should be proud of yourself for. And I'm like, it hit me, and it made me feel really, really good, because it does not matter how many dudes on the internet tell me that they think I'm amazing. Having someone that worked directly with me for years, that also worked with me during one of my hardest moments in my life. Now, there was a service manager in Colorado at the job prior, in the prior shop, that also worked with me through my brother's death. Also incredible. So ladies, if you think that these men are just going to eat you up and spit you out and you're not going to matter, and all these things that go on in your personal life are just, it's going to be too much, I promise you it's not. I promise you there are shops and there are managers out there that will genuinely value you for what you bring to the table, and will genuinely care, and will genuinely understand when you have big shit happen or you have big life. And this is the thing I've always preached is, guys, ladies, show up to work on time. Leave when you're supposed to. Take your lunches when you're supposed to. Take your breaks when you're supposed to. Put in your best effort, because then when your life is fucking falling apart, or you're struggling, or you have a major crisis like a death in the family or something like that, and you need, dude, the original service manager, which is a different manager than that guy, I'm still friends with. I still talk to him. He's actually on my podcast. He rounded up people to donate time off so I could take an extra week off when my brother passed away. If this industry is not, if you don't think this industry and the people in it end up being an extension of your family, you are in the wrong shop, I promise you. Because there are people out there like Troy, which was my original service manager that helped me through the death of a family member, and Sid, who was my regional service manager that was my boss's boss through another one of my really, really hard moments in life, and they still treat me with respect and kindness and understanding. I promise you, you can have that too.